7:41. You're watching hashtag GTV Breakfast. Today is the 12th of June, 2023. We're commemorating the 2023 World Day Against Child Labor. So that's something for you to think about. We'll have a brief conversation on that pretty soon. Let me just introduce my guests as you see them on the screen. To the right is a member of the NDC's legal team, Eric Delano Alifo. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
All right. And in the middle is Mr. James Kofi Annan, who is the president of Challenging Heights. They are in the news today, so we'll be talking about that in a short while. James, good to have you here.
Yeah.
And then seated close to me is a member of the MPP's national communication team, Mr. Ben Jewu Apia. Gentlemen, how are you doing?
We're doing well.
You're good?
Thank you, Kofi.
All right, good to have you all here. Good to see you all. I'll start with James first because I want to touch on the World Day Against Child Labor. Your organization, Challenging Heights, has rescued 23 children. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Where were they? How did the rescue happen?
So, this rescue happened on the Lake Volta. And it happened in 16 communities along the lake. You know, I've been doing this work for over 18 years now, and usually it is because of my own experience with the issue. So, on the occasion of the World Day Against Child Labor, we decided to begin a new rescue that started about a month ago. And these children were finally brought home over the weekend. They are made up of 17 boys and 6 girls who are aged between 4 and 17.
4?
Yes, 4 and 17.
What were you rescuing them from? What were they doing?
From fishing. You know, the fishing has so many aspects. Some of the children do the actual fishing, but others also scoop water from the boats. Some cast the nets, others pull the nets, some dive. Depending on yes, they dive.
How deep do they go down?
Well, it depends on where you are on the lake. So, for instance, if you are down by, you are likely to go as deep as sometimes about 8 yards or more. If you are around Nkwanta or Yeji areas, then it comes to maybe 6 or 4 yards deep. So it depends on where you find yourself on the
What are they looking for when they dive there? What are they looking for?
You know, this lake was created in 1960s, and when it was created, it overflew its banks to cover so many trees. And the tree stumps are still in the lake because of the quality of the tree. So many years after the lake was created, we still have the trees there.
Wow.
But not all of them are visible. So when you are casting the net, you are likely to cast it to wrap around those tree stumps. And because the fishermen believe that the nets are more expensive than the children that they use, they rather will force the children to go under the lake to remove the trap nets, you know, and they will not tear the net. Yes, that's what happens usually.
There's risk of drowning, isn't there?
Oh yes, it happens so many times. You know, a lot of children die as a result of drowning. In fact, when I was taken to the lake so many years ago, we were 6. 3 survived, 3 others did not survive. The 3 who didn't survive all died as a result of diving.
Well, were you a diver too, a child diver?
Oh yeah.
You were?
Yes, I still can dive. I still dive and I still do all the work that the fishermen can do.
How did you end up on the lake?
You know, my area where I come from, almost every home was affected when I was growing up. And parents gave their children out to the fishermen to go and work with. So that's what happened. When I was growing up, it was just obvious that I was also going to be taken there. And at the age of 6, I was taken there.
And where was your home and where did you end up?
I'm from Winneba, obviously, and I was taken to the lake. I work in about 15 different communities from Yeji and Bupe.
Who were you living with?
Different people. You know, at a point in time, I was living with people I never knew, people from Ningo, people from Adan, people from different, and sometimes also people from my hometown.
And these children that you lived with, from how far did they come before they ended up on the lake?
Well, if you go to the lake where these highlands are and the fishermen are, you hear languages like Fanti, Ningo, Adan, Bato, you know, so that should tell you where they are coming from. They are coming from those sea or ocean fishing communities, and they are taking the to work as fishermen.
And did you escape or you were rescued?
I did. I escaped myself. In 1980s when the Odifun Kansen died. That African Faith Tabernacle Church man died. I was named after him. So my original name is Kwame Kansen. And when the man died, the church decided that anyone who was named after him should come for the funeral necessary. And my parents were both pastors in the church. And the person that I was working with at the time was also a member of the church. So they, in one accord, thought that I should be brought. And that's how come I found myself back into my hometown.
So this must be your motivation for dealing with issues like this?
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is very personal to me. I've always said, even when I was working with Barclays Bank, I was still pursuing this cause because it's very, very personal to me.
How do you feel about these children who are trapped in this kind of work?
It's very painful. If I should describe some of the things that they go through, you wouldn't want to know.
I want to know.
You know? Just imagine a 9-year-old girl who has been sent there to service boys just to serve as motivator for them to work more for the fisherman. Imagine a
motivator?
Yes.
What does that mean?
It's a sex material.
Oh.
Yes.
9?
Yes. Just imagine that. You know, I mean, you are shocked. We have a 13-year-old girl who has a 1-year-old baby. You know, as a result of this. You see, you are shocked. Just imagine a 7-year-old boy who has been asked to go under the lake to remove trap nets. And you know, around September, October, November, when the dam is open from Burkina Faso, it comes with a lot of force. So a lot of debris are in the lake, and that's where the lake turns brown. It comes with a lot. So when you go under, you don't see anything. And you are going there without any aid.
No breathing apparatus.
Nothing. So all the debris, all the death, everything is on you as a child. You can't see the net as you're removing them around the tree stumps. You can't see anything. And because of the current of the lake moving, the net can even move. The body of the net can move on you and trap you. Yeah. And that's how come a lot of them die. So just imagine a 7-year-old boy being forced to do this. So when we are doing this work, some people think that we're just doing NGO work. No. It's personal and spiritual to us, some of us.
How do you mean spiritual?
Well, you see, the human quest to survive forces people to do the unthinkable. And sometimes you want to have sympathy also for those who perpetrate those crimes. But at the same time, you also ask yourself, for what purpose are we in this world for? When, you know, you would not allow the children to go to the Lord, but rather to, you know, to remove trap nets under the lake. You know, somebody will work, a child of 7 years will work from 3 a.m. till 8 p.m. What for? I heard you talk about your watching football with your children. Mm-hmm. It is not allowed for children to play in my time when we were there. Playing was seen as a crime, or like it's a source of punishment. You see, so all these things children go through, and you ask yourself, why can't we all, in one accord, do something about this and end it once and for all? In 2013, the ILO said there were over 21,000 children caught up in this particular situation. 21,000.
In Ghana alone?
In Ghana alone. Not child labor in general, but on lake water alone. And we see them. These are visible. When you go there, you see them working. So why can't we do something about it?
Why? Why do you think we can't do something about it?
We can, but I think we don't have the will to want to solve the problem. Because when you see a child working and the fellow children are in school, you must know that there's something wrong. And 21, even if it will cost us maybe 10,000 Ghana cedis to rescue one child, is that more than what this country can afford? You know? So there are so many things. And I'm using your platform to ask for government to increase its investment in the area. Resource the state institutions, the child labor unit, the Ministry of Gender, the human trafficking unit of the Ghana Police Service. Properly resource them, let them work so that we can solve this problem. And apart from that, you see, we have the child labor unit being put under the Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations, whilst we have the Ministry of Gender hosting the Anti-Human Trafficking Secretariat. It doesn't help, because it doesn't help with coordination, it doesn't help with efficiency. Bring the ministry, the child labor unit from the Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations, put it under the Ministry of Gender, merge it with the Children's Department, resource them, let there be a good coordination, resource the child labor unit, and let them work. That will solve the problem. That will help. For us, we are doing our best. You know, we've been rescuing children. So far, we have rescued almost 1,800 in our history, and we continue to build capacity in women. You know, the mothers are the ones who are most vulnerable, and when they are frustrated, they also allow their children to go. So you could build a capacity for them to do something for themselves. So we continue to work as a civil society organization, but it is not our mandate to do so. We are doing it as just you would do. Helps another person, my brother here, my sister somewhere would help another person. But it is not our responsibility under the Children's Act, under the Constitution of Ghana, and under any law in this country. It is the government's responsibility to address the issue.
What's your message as we wrap this segment up on this day, World Day Against Child Labor? What do you have to say to the stakeholders?
Well, what I would say is that everyone should come on board for us to fight against this menace, and to say that, you know, globally we have almost 50 million people caught up in the situation of human trafficking, and almost 160 million children in child labor. In Ghana, 21% of all children between the ages of 5 and 17 are in child labor. That's something we should think about. We can solve it, but let's think about it.
James Kofi Annan, President of Challenging Heights, congratulations on the rescue.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story, and we wish you the very best.
Thank you.
Awesome. We will return to continue with headlines right here on #GTV Breakfast. Don't go away.